Hello friends, welcome to SETI Botany classes. This is part 2 video of xylem tissue. In part 1, we have discussed structure and functions of xylem tissue. In this video, we'll discuss various terms related with the xylem tissue. And we will discuss what are vesicular strands, what are types of vesicular strand, what are different types of xylem present in the vesicular strand, how they are arranged in vesicular tissue, what is hardwood and softwood, what are the differences between hardwood and softwood, what is heartwood and sapwood, what are the differences between heartwood and sapwood, what are leaf traces and leaf caps, branch traces and branch caps. Now, if we cut the section of stem transversely and see its anatomy or internal structure, we'll see that vesicular tissue is related in the form of vesicular bundle. For the growth of the plant, water and minerals are needed and nutrients are needed. Water and mineral is supplied with the help of xylem tissue and nutrients are supplied with the help of phloem tissue. In transverse section, we'll see vesicular bundles arranged like this pattern. Now, each vesicular bundle is having xylem and phloem. Xylem is pointed toward the pith. Now, this is the outermost layer epidermis. This part is cortex, and this is the pith. So, xylem is pointed toward the pith, and phloem is facing the periphery part of the plant. Different kind of vesicular bundles are depending upon the arrangement of the vesicular tissue. If you see the anatomy of root of dicot plant or monocot plant, now we'll see that vesicular tissue is arranged radially. Now, what is the radial arrangement of the vesicular tissue? Now, this is the xylem and this is phloem. Again, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem. I mean, they're alternating with each other. Xylem is alternating with the phloem. So this is called as a radial arrangement of the vesicular tissue. Now, here 4 xylem bundles are there. If 4 bundles, tetrarch condition. If 2, diarch. If 3, triarch. If 5, pentarch. If more than 5, polyarch condition. So arrangement is a radial arrangement. Xylem is alternating with the phloem. Now, in case of stems of various plants, monocot or dicot, we'll see that vesicular bundles are there carrying the vesicular tissue. Now, this is the xylem and this is the phloem. If in a vesicular bundle, both xylem and phloem are present, we will use the word conjoint, mean both are present, xylem as well as phloem. Here we can also see the cambium strip. Cambium is the meristematic tissue present between the xylem and the phloem. If cambium is present, we call these vesicular bundles as open type. Now, this is another category. Again, this is xylem and this is phloem. No cambial strip is there. If cambial strip is not there, we will call the vesicular bundles as closed. But xylem and phloem, they are present at the same radius. If in a vesicular bundle, xylem and phloem are present at the same radius, we will use the word collateral. If xylem and phloem are both are present, we will use the word conjoint. If they are present at the same radius, we'll use the word collateral. Sometime in a vesicular bundle, now this is the xylem tissue. This is surrounded by phloem on both the sides. And this is one cambial strip. This is another cambial strip. So in this vesicular bundle, there are 2 cambial strips, but the xylem is surrounded on the 2 sides by the phloem tissue. So such vesicular bundles, they are called as bicollateral. So depending upon the arrangement of xylem and phloem in the vesicular bundle, they are categorized into different categories: radial, conjoint, collateral, and bicollateral. Now, third kind of vesicular bundles are showing concentric arrangement. So they are called as concentric vesicular bundle. Now, in this case, we can see this is xylem present in the center, and this is surrounded by phloem. So we use the word amphicribal for this kind of arrangement of the xylem and phloem. And if reverse is there, phloem is in the center, and this is surrounded by xylem on both the sides. So this is called as amphivesical. And this arrangement is called as concentric arrangement of the vesicular bundles. Now, we have already discussed if there is no cambium present in the vesicular bundle between xylem and phloem, so we will call it as closed. But if there is presence of vesicular bundle, we will call it as open type. Actually, vascular bundle is a strip of cambium tissue. Now, what is cambium tissue? This is basically a meristematic tissue. So this will help in secondary growth of the plant because its cells can divide and redivide, and this will help in formation of secondary xylem and secondary phloem. So this is called as secondary growth of the plant. And if cambium is not there, so secondary growth will not occur in the plant, mean no secondary xylem and secondary phloem will be produced in the plant. Now, xylem is having two kinds of tissues, protoxylem and metaxylem. When xylem develops, when xylem cells are small in size, its thickening starts. Thickening is deposition of the lignin in the xylem tissue. This is also called as lignification. So vascular tissue in case of xylem, now when xylem cells are small and lignification starts, thickening starts, then they remain small in size. So small sized xylem tissue is called as protoxylem. So we can also call this is earlier formed xylem where lignification begins before completion of elongation. It is again made up of tracheids and vessels, which is made up of annular and spiral thickening. What are annular and spiral thickening? This we have discussed in video 1 of xylem tissue. So you have to check that video for understanding what are annular and spiral thickenings. But when xylem has fully developed, then lignification starts. Then a lignification may be in the form of reticulate, scleriform, and pitted form. Again, you have to go to the video number 1 to understand different kind of thickenings or lignification of the xylem tissue. So bigger tracheids and vessels forming xylem tissue, they are called as metaxylem, and smaller, they are called as protoxylem. Now we can see here, this is the arrangement. This is metaxylem and this is protoxylem. Now if we see the anatomy of the root, outermost layer is epiblema. This part is cortex, then endodermis, pericycle, xylem, phloem. We have already discussed in root, there is radial arrangement of the vascular tissue. But in xylem tissue, if we see the arrangement of protoxylem and metaxylem, now these smaller ones, they are called as protoxylem, and bigger one, they are called as metaxylem. Now metaxylem is facing the pith tissue, and protoxylem is facing toward the cortex, or you can say periphery of the tissue. So when protoxylem is facing toward the outer side and metaxylem is facing toward the inner side, so we will call this condition as exarch. Protoxylem is toward the outer side and metaxylem is toward the inner side. So this condition is called as exarch condition. If reverse is there, metaxylem is facing toward the outer side and protoxylem is facing toward the center. So we will call it as end arc. Metaxylem is toward the periphery and protoxylem is toward the inner side. Sometime in vascular bundles, what happens? Protoxylem and metaxylem, they're mixed. Somewhere protoxylem, somewhere metaxylem. We can see here, protoxylem and metaxylem, they are mixed. So this mixed arrangement, when there is no definite arrangement, somewhere protoxylem, somewhere metaxylem. So this condition is called as Mizar condition. But in some vascular bundle, in the center is present protoxylem, and this is surrounded by metaxylem on all the sides. So this is called as central condition. So when metaxylem is facing toward the periphery, protoxylem toward the inner side, the condition is end arc. And when there is mixed arrangement, condition is Mizar. When protoxylem is present in the center, surrounded by metaxylem all around, so condition is called as central. Now, what is hardwood and what is softwood? Hardwood is hard, softwood is soft. As the name indicates, hardwood is made up of secondary growth of the xylem tissue. Softwood is also made up of secondary growth of the xylem tissue, but hardwood is made up of more of the vessels and less of the tracheids. This is found in angiosperms. Softwood is made up of more of the tracheids and less of the vessels, and this is found in case of gymnosperms. We can see the differences between softwood and hardwood. Softwood will lack vessels, and this is known as non-porous wood because vessels, they represent pores in the wood. So this is because pores are not there. So this is called as non-porous wood. In hardwood, wood is mainly 95% made up of vessels. It has pores. So this is called as porous wood. So here more of the tracheids and here more of the vessels. Now, xylem fibers are less in case of softwood. Xylem fibers, basically, they provide mechanical support and strength to the tissue. And in case of hardwood, because it is hard in nature, so it has more of the xylem fibers. This is rich in xylem fibers. This is found in, softwood is found in pinus, uh, gymnospermic plants, and hardwood is found in many of the dicot plant. Now, next is what is hardwood and what is softwood. Now, see, if we see the, you can say a transverse section of a log, wood of log, you can see that this part, central part is, which is dark in color also, this is hardwood, and this surrounding part is called as sapwood. Now, this is more clear in this color. You can see this in the center is present hardwood, and this surrounding part is called as sapwood. Here also, this part is hardwood and this part is sapwood. Now, hardwood, what happens, why hardwood is produced actually? Plant for its growth needs water and minerals and nutrients. This we have already discussed. When primary growth of the plant occur, this is called as primary growth. Every year, new secondary xylem and secondary phloem is being produced to continue the growth of the plant, to meet the demands of the growth of the plant. So new secondary xylem and secondary phloem is produced every year. Old secondary xylem and old secondary phloem will become crushed, and old secondary xylem will be blocked by the extractives or excretory materials or certain, you can say, excretory products of the plant, that is with the help of resin, tannins, oils, or gums. So because of the blockage of the tracheids and vessels with these substances, this will become dark in color. And also old vessels and tracheids, they will get blocked with the ingrowths called as tylosis. And old vascular tissue will become non-functional in nature. This will not be able to conduct water and minerals, and new secondary xylem will be helpful in conducting the water and minerals. So old vascular tissue or old xylem tissue become dead and dark in color. This, it's a parenchyma cell, they also become dead in color, and they will not conduct water and minerals. So due to deposition of the extractives or certain excretory products, or due to dead of the tissue of the old vascular tissue, this will become dark in color. So this is called as hardwood. So we can say conducting elements, they will become non-functional, and parenchyma cells surrounding the xylem tissue will also become non-functional. So this is called as hardwood. This will become dark in color. And this wood which is surrounding the hardwood, this is again new secondary xylem which is being produced every year. So this will be able to conduct water and minerals for the plant. Hardwood is also called as duramen, and sapwood is also called as alburnum. What are the differences between hardwood and sapwood? As we have seen, hardwood is dark in color and sapwood is light in color. This become dark in color because of that deposition of various resin, oil, tannins, etc. into the xylem tissue. So this occupies the central part because old vascular tissue or old xylem tissue is being pushed toward the inner side of the plant. So this will occupy the central part of the plant, and this will be present surrounding the dead tissue, that is hardwood periphery. This is called as sapwood. Hardwood, because we really use hardwood for making our windows, doors, furniture, etc. So this is very durable because of the extractive deposit, and this also become dead. And sapwood is functional, so this is less durable. Because this is dead, this will not be attacked by any microorganisms as well as pathogens and insects. And sapwood, because this is functional, this is having water and minerals. Now, this is also supplying water and minerals to the plant. So this will be having water. So this will be attacked by pathogens and insects. Now, what are leaf traces and leaf caps? Now, we know that plant in the center has a vascular tissue. So when plant in the center has a vascular tissue, so this will be supplied to all parts of the plant. Naturally, leaves which are arising on the stem, they will be supplied vascular tissue from the vascular tissue of the stem. Now, this is the vascular tissue of the stem, and this is actually diagram representing longitudinal section of the node part. So this is the vascular tissue present in the stem, or we can say xylem present in the stem. So from here, this is the vascular supply going toward the leaf. Now leaf will be present over here like this. So this is the vascular tissue going toward the leaf. So this supply of the xylem toward the leaf, in the petiole of the leaf, right? This branch which is arising from this xylem tissue, this is called as leaf trace. So one leaf may be having one leaf trace, so it may be having two leaf trace. So we can say, what is a leaf trace? The leaf trace is a vascular bundle that connects the vascular system of the leaf with the stem. So here, if leaf is present, so this is the vascular supply of the leaf and this is the vascular supply of the stem, and both are connected with each other. What is leaf cap then? Now see, again, I'll go to the previous slide first. Now see, when this is going to the leaf and this vascular tissue of the stem here, it is interrupted and a gap is created over here. So this part will be occupied by the parenchymatous tissue, this part. Again, from here, vascular tissue will continue, but there is a gap between the vascular tissue of the stem at this part and at this part. And this gap is called as leaf gap because this is because of the supply to the leaf. So here we can see this is the leaf cap part, and this is covered by parenchymatous tissue. This is not covered by xylem tissue. So this area is called as leaf cap. So here we can see this is the vascular supply of the stem. Gap is there, and this is the trace or vascular supply which is going toward the leaf. So this is called as leaf trace. This cap, which is made up of parenchymatous tissue, is called as leaf cap. So in shoot system, where the leaf trace diverges into a leaf, it appears as though a portion of the vascular cylinder of the stem is deflected on one side. Above this diverging trace, a parenchymatous tissue is differentiated instead of vascular tissue. Here, no vascular tissue is found. This is only made up of parenchymatous tissue. So this area is called as leaf cap, and supply to the leaf vascular tissue of the stem toward the leaf, this is called as leaf trace, and this gap which is being created, this is called as leaf cap. Now, what are branch traces and branch cap? Now, from the stem, branches arise. One is the origin of the leaf, another is origin of the branches. So, vascular supply of the stem is diverges toward the branch. When this goes toward the branch, this vascular supply will be called as branch trace. Again, this is the vascular tissue. This is the vascular tissue. Again, a gap is being created. This is called as branch gap. Now, this is the vascular supply of the main stem. This vascular supply is going toward the leaf. This is called as a leaf trace. This gap is called as leaf cap. Now, this vascular supply is going toward the branch. So, this is called as branch trace. And this is again discontinuation between the vascular supply of the stem. So this gap is filled by the parenchymatous cells. So this is called as branch gap. So primary vascular supply to the lateral branches is also derived from the vascular system of the main axis in the form of one or two bundle. This is called as branch traces. And gap covered by or break is there in the vascular tissue that is covered by parenchyma tissue. This is called as branch gap. I hope all the basic terms are clear to you. If you like my video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching my video.